All right. Let's see if we can actually get a stream live. Here we go. Here we go. I'll put the invite in the Discord. All right. Here is the stream link. So we'll wait for some people to pop in. But this is... I guess we don't have to. We could just go over the deck. Let's see. Let me make some shifts here. There's the stream. Hey, Dragon. Sorry about that. I was trying to do it off my phone. Thought I'd be able to do something cool. I can't. So here we are. We're doing the normal setup. Just setting up my deck as it was. Let me grab it. Man. Hey, welcome, welcome. Thanks for popping in, Eddie. I appreciate the time. Appreciate you coming to hang out. Yeah, the regionals was a lot of fun. I had a really good time. And yeah, I'll talk about today how we did and what we were playing. It was 144 people. It was 144 people. That's super abnormal for my shop. My shop never gets numbers like that. Usually our locals is like 10 people. So we had 8 rounds. We played 8 rounds of Punk Ogdoadic. I stayed in through the whole event. I was sure that I wanted to do that from the start. I didn't want to drop. You know, I wanted to really see what we could do with the deck. And I didn't feel we'd have a fair... It wouldn't be a fair assessment of the deck if we dropped early. So I wanted to stick it out and I wanted to play the whole thing, and I did. It also would have been nice to top. I'll spoil the fun now. We didn't top. I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed. I think if you go to a regional, the goal is to top. You want to get the best record you can. We went, I think, all right. Not a winning record. Not one I'm super proud of. We went 3 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws. We went as neutral as you can almost. So this is the deck. We'll do a... I see Kato in the Discord. This is the deck we played. And we're going to go over it. We're going to talk about what I was playing. I was heavily catering against Snake Eye. That was... I couldn't go to my regional, sadly. I was struggling to find a ride. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. But you can live through me, dragons. So this is what we played. We played our beloved Ogdoadics. Just replying in Discord. And we tried really hard. I'll try to go to another in 3 weeks. That sounds awesome. I am definitely motivated to go to another. So let's go over the deck list here and we'll talk about it. So we played Ogdoadic Punk and we played 46 cards. We played a lot in the main. And the biggest reason for that was I just couldn't figure out the space to cut stuff. There's a lot of things I wanted to run, and so I just didn't cut. I just added bloat and called it a day. So first thing I want to talk about are our hand traps here. We're playing a lot. In my humble opinion, I feel that against Snake Eyes, the best way to deal with them is by using at least 2 hand traps on their turn, preferably Nib. Nib is the best going second card versus them. It just does everything you want to. It clears their board and makes it really awkward for them to make their play. So I wanted to main deck 3 Nib. That was a great card. Nib performed excellently all day. Droll was also very strong. I was citing Droll because Droll plus something else is great in Snake Eye, in my opinion. I know a lot of people say it's not. I think they're just wrong. I think Droll plus something is great. I also think Droll kills Voiceless Voice pretty well, and Voiceless Voice was definitely a deck I was struggling and worried about. Hey, Codename, welcome, welcome. The Ash Blossoms are because Ash is solid, and it just doesn't target, so it's good versus Voiceless Voice. It stops searching, you know, stops summoning from deck. It's great. Imperm is great. We played 2 Valor. I just wanted more negates. I wanted more hand traps, and Valor's just solid. People aren't expecting it. We're on the 1 Ghost Ogre because we're playing Punk. People also were not expecting this. This is great versus continuous spells, field spells. I tried embarrassingly to use this versus a protected Fire King Island, and she just went, okay, resolve, and I went, oh, right, reading. So that was a misplay. That was my fault, obviously. The 3 Fenrir. Fenrir also felt great. Fenrir was awesome today. The 1 Nephilibus. We did make use of Nephilibus. We got lethal thanks to Nephilibus's inherent summon. We'll talk about that. 3 Foxy Tune, excellent starter. 1 Curse. We didn't open Curse very many times. A few, but we only bricked in 1 duel. And we played 8 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's pretty good. 1 Deer Note. 1 Zoha to unbrick our hands. 1 Night Sword to get sent to the grave and to extend, make our plays. 3 Naya, the best Ogdoadic monster, my favorite. 1 Nunu. This felt great. My normal summon was being used for Punk cards, setting up that early Barone, which was working very well. I didn't miss the other 2. I did in a way, but there was no time where I had a hand and I thought, man, I wish I had a Nunu here. I don't know. I think we'll talk about the Kurikara. We were playing 1 Shadakusai, 1 Wagon, both searchable. I opted to cut out the Madame Spider because it felt to win more. I wanted to play a really consistent deck, and so I just decided to cut it out entirely. Yeah, we'll talk about the Kurikara. You're a good viewer, Codename. You recognize the price tag on that card and know that that's not something we'd play normally. 3 Zayaman, 1 card starter. Best Punk monster, obviously. 3 Snake Rain, awesome card, love it. Didn't see it very much, to be honest. 1 Water Lily. This underperformed. This felt pretty weak overall today. I kind of wish this wasn't in my deck at all, to be honest. 1 Called By. Stop those pesky hand traps. 3 E-Telly. Extend even further. 1 Daybreak. Amazing card. Daybreak felt great. Slicer locked quite a few times, and every time I got it down, Slicer Lock felt threatening. It forced opponent responses. It required that they deal with it, and if they couldn't, it won duels. They can't play under it. It's a great card. 1 Jam Extreme Session. This card was not great. This and the Wagon were probably a mistake, honestly. I'm not sure if they deserve to be cut entirely, but the way we've built our deck here means we usually only draw 1 off of the Extreme Session, meaning it only goes even 0 on our turn, and then maybe we get the +1 by summoning with Shirakusai on their turn. It didn't feel great. This was probably a mistake. These 2 probably shouldn't have been in the deck at all, but it's what we played, so it's what we'll talk about. And the 1 Planet Pollutant. The Planet Pollutant was great. I opened it a few times. It wasn't terrible. Honestly, that can even be good versus Nib. The extra's not quite right here. We actually played a kind of weird extra. We played Draco Berserker of the Tenyi, and we played Dragite. The reason for that was we make level 8 synchros a lot. I wanted to have flexibility in our 8 synchros, and also my Jam Dragon Drive kept getting super polyed on Friday Night Locals. We can talk a little bit about that locals as well. I went... I can't remember now. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember my Friday Night Locals. It was a long locals. It was 5 rounds. But I kept getting super poly just by different people, so I wanted to play a variety of synchros. That way I could play into it, be a little safer since the Earth and the Earth Shadakusai get hit really hard by that. So we're playing the 1 Rising Carp, the 1 Pep, the 1 Ukiyo-e. Amazing Dragon felt great. Amazing Dragon felt amazing. Burn was great. Dragite, Berserker, Jam Dragon Drive. What you'll notice here is that we're not playing an Xyz heavy Punk deck. I still am happy I did that. Xyz monsters are valuable. The Hope Harbinger is good, but I still like the flexibility of this Synchro deck, and I just like Synchros more. I think this was great. I don't think it was a mistake playing the Synchro line. 1 King of the Fair Limps. Basically for the Nunu line, that's kind of the only way it comes down. Otherwise, you get it through some greedy lines. Where'd the top-down cam go? I was struggling too much. I was getting embarrassed because I wanted the nice people that come out to the streams to actually come out to the stream. And I'm really tired. I woke up at 7:30 today. I got to the shop at 9 a.m. We didn't start the regional until 11:40. So I was there for a long time before the event even started. Then we played 8 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! There were some delays. It was a long day. Mama doesn't have time to fuss with tech, okay? We played the Underworld Goddess. I didn't make Underworld Goddess once. I did think about it exactly one time, but we didn't summon it. Apo won me a game. I made it after kind of misplaying and doing nothing with my board. I made a 3-material Apo versus Snake Eye with a couple hand traps in hand, and it stunned him out. It got to my turn, and I was able to actually play. The Cosmic Slicer and the Alien Shock Trooper M-Frame for the Slicer lock. This was great. I loved this, and I'm so happy that I brought this combo specifically. The 1 SP Little Knight. A friend lent me this for the event, and it was good. It wasn't crazy. It was solid. I made it a few times. I'm happy I didn't spend $100. 1 IP Masquerena, great card, obviously. Didn't make it very much either. And 1 Echidna, made this quite a few times. This is a really funky card. We need better Link to Reptiles. Come on. For the side, we played, for going first, we played 3 of Unicorn, 2 Unicorn and 1 Birth, you know what I mean. The reason it's not 3 Unicorn is I own 2. And I honestly felt like it was alright. Decided he's going first so I could make Brun more consistently. That was fun. The Birth was really nice. Birth is a crazy card. This was great. We played 3 Talent. This was also something I would side going first, just so if they interrupt, we can just plus off it. We can rip their hand. We can, you know, it's a really flexible card. 3 Cosmic Cyclone. This was also a going first card and also kind of a going second card if I just wasn't sure about the hand traps or if I felt Nib wasn't great into the matchup. I think Cosmic Cyclone is just really solid. I like it versus Fire King. Pop their, or banish their field spell, nuke their board. It's great versus continuous spells and traps. It's good versus Snake Eye for that reason. So I liked it. 3 Anti-Spell. This is for going first. You set it up and then it just turns off your opponent's spell cards. That was really good. It didn't win me duels, but it definitely helped. I think if I played better, it could have. And the last 3 were 3 Kurikara Divincarnate. This was not good. I didn't side this very much at all, if ever. I don't think I didn't use it at all. I don't even remember if I sided it. I wish this were something else. You know what I wish this were? I wish this were Spooky Dogwood, because that definitely would have changed the way I was playing, and it would have affected my number of ties. I have 2 ties. That's quite a lot. And so I could have done better in time had I had the Dogwood. I had just cut it, actually. I played it at locals. It didn't really perform. I regret cutting it. It should have been in there. We're on Punk. Snake Eyes plays forever. I've learned that I think maybe my least favorite thing about Snake Eye Fire King is how long that game 1 goes, because especially if they win it, now you're at a huge deficit going into time because they've got the win and it's you against the clock to pull it out, especially when we're on Punk. But this was the deck list. Again, we went, main reason people run Kurikara this format is because it's searchable off Snake Eye Ash. That's so funny. No, obviously we're not able to search it. Okay, cool story. A little bit of a side tangent before we go on to more of the regional story, but on Friday night, I went to an event. They usually hold I think it's Speed or something. It's not advanced, but they held advanced in prep for the regional. And so I went. My throat's hurting from talking again. I talked so much today. But I got a pity pack. I did really badly, I remember now, and I got a 9th place pity OTS pack, and I pulled an ulti Harpy's Feather Duster. I took a picture, and a guy right away wanted to trade it, $75 value. And so I traded it for the 3 Kurikara, because they're about 20 bucks, and he really wanted the card. There was nothing in his binder I really wanted, and I traded for 3 of the secret rare Ash from the Rarity Collection. Because I love Ash. Ash is a card that goes in all my decks. I just think it's solid, and so I was like, whatever. He was cool with it. I think I got a little more value than he did out of it, but obviously he got the ulti Feather Duster, so that's pretty great. But yeah, the Kurikara, it could have been better. This could have been something else. I don't even know if it's the worst card to side. It's just, I don't know if this is the format for it. I'm happy I have it. It's a really cool art. I love the dragon. I love the colors. So I've got to experiment more with it. I'm happy I have it, but it didn't win me any games for sure. If anything, it was a liability having it in my side and not being able to really use it. So this is the list. So if it's alright, I'd like to talk about my matchups, how my games went. My memory's a little foggy because I forget stuff right away, but I wrote down some notes, and so I'll just kind of talk through it, and we'll talk about what I faced. I wrote down exactly what I faced, so I know what decks they were on at least, so I can tell you that part. Yeah, Kurikara isn't great. It's just a searchable off snake. Yeah. No, I totally see that. Like I said, it was something I ran just because I had it. I really wasn't sure what to play in my side outside of this card, so it's not something that should be here. It's just what was, and I want to show the deck list as it was. It looks spicy though. Yeah, so let's talk about my matchups. So round 1, we're against Snake Eyes Fire King, and they go first, and they kill me. They just set up the board. I can't play through it, you know, full thing. It takes a long time. We go game 2. Game 2, I'm able to go first. I'm able to develop a board, and I set up the Slicer Lock. And so they just can't play. Their monsters can't activate. And so we win that one because we're able to just pull onto our turn. We make Pepper something, you know, we go big damn. We win. Game 3, I'm going second. No. Game 3, she made me go first because I'm on Punk, so she's thinking he's just gonna kill himself out. So I set up my board and I pass to her. I have a pretty strong board and I have good hand traps, so she plays and I'm able to stun her for the most part. She basically pushes through some damage and it comes to my turn. I had a Snake Rain resolve this duel, and so there's like a minute or 2 on the clock. It comes to my turn, so I create a situation where I'm able to summon the Psychic and Punisher, burn myself down a little bit more, and then go for enough damage to put her lower than me by about 400 life points by attacking over the Diabell Star Witch. And so I was able to take that 2-1. She was not happy with that, but I was really, really stoked to beat Fire King Snake Eye right away. Round 2, Kashtira Pearly. We went 0-2. Game 1, they went first. They set up, what's it called? Dimensional Fissure. Yep, Dimensional Fissure. We just can't play into it. Our hand is like Foxy Toon, Snake Rain, and not anything else really. Game 2, we go first, and they hit me with a Shifter. And so, again, I just can't use the cards in my hand that send to grave. In hindsight for this duel, I should have sided out my Snake Rains and my Foxy Toons, at least 2 Foxies, probably. But I don't know. I wasn't ready for it. The Cash Pearly was weird. I think Shifter cooks me even if I had sided those out, to be honest, but it would have helped. Round 3, we're against a guy on Horus Goblins, and so that ended in 1-1 in a tie. Game 1, he goes first. He sets up a whole board. It's not a ton, though. He's got a goblin that can absorb a spell trap as a material, and then another goblin where if a card is gained as material, it can then absorb another card. Let's look it up really quick. He had the... Yeah, so he had the Big Gabonga. And I don't know what else, but he was able to suck up a monster on my field. And I had no hand traps. I just couldn't stop him, so he just got to play. Comes to my turn. Crazy Beast. Thank you. It's a retrain. Yeah, he has Crazy Beast on field. So his board's it's not strong. Like, it's not, he was really nice. That guy was super nice. I had a really good time playing with him. And then after that, he kept coming over chatting with me. That was awesome. The regional was super social. I loved that. I would go around like talking to people I knew from my locals, talking to people who I knew had traveled, kind of asking about their record, what they were playing, if they're having fun. A lot of people dropped. I'm happy I didn't drop, but yeah, his board wasn't crazy. We just had a weak hand. And so the game went to him. He was able to just kill us. Game 2, I set up Slicer Lock, and he's confused. He doesn't have the nib. I had Slicer plus Amazing Dragon, and so the Amazing Dragon on his end phase bounced some stuff, and I go in for the lethal. Game 3, we're in really low time. We both side. He goes first. I have a Veiler in hand. He was going for a line. He couldn't reach it, but he said he was going for the... I think it was the Chaos Dyson Sphere. It was something from the extra that he meant to deal damage with, but he basically told me I can't get there. And so we just called it. We didn't want to waste time. So it was a draw. So that was unfortunate because I think in that duel, had we played it normally, going into my turn, my hand was solid. I think I would have had the win. And so that was disappointing. I think that would have been a win for me. Obviously, it's all hypothetical, but I think I would have had that. But a tie is all right, so whatever. Round 4, we're against Snake Eye Fire King again. This time we go 1-1 and go for a draw. very similar story, you know, kind of same thing. It's the deck just plays forever. So he takes the game 1 probably, I take game 2, and then I just don't have time to do anything. I let him go first, hoping to nib and then, you know, maybe just beat through something, but it just didn't happen. Round 5, we went against Dark World. That was cool. He was nice. He said he'd just gotten into the game, I think like a couple months ago. He said he just started playing like last year near the end. So that was really cool. He was playing well. It didn't feel like he was like brand new. It felt like he knew what he was doing. But we took game 1 really decisively. Game 2, I think I misplayed, and I think that, hey, Dark World, yeah. I think I misplayed. I think I should have had lethal, but I kind of got overconfident. He's able to make some plays during my turn and basically not die and then kill me. And then game 3, we're super low in time. He goes for a danger. I hit the danger. The danger goes to summon from deck, and I hit it with Ash, and he passes. It's my turn. There's like no time left. There's like 10 seconds. I go E-Telly, summon Zayaman, go battle phase, hit for 6 time. So I won game 3, and so I won that match. That was really, really nerve-wracking. Man, Yu-Gi-Oh's time rules. I don't know. I don't have any recommendations for how to do them differently. I'm not saying they're bad, but I don't know if I love them. They felt really bad today. It would have taken forever, but I wish I got to finish my matches today, because I think my 2 ties would have been favorable for me had they gone into full matches, you know, into a full game 3. I think I could have taken them both probably, which would have meant we would be 5-3, which was way better than 3 wins, 2 tie, 3 loss. But whatever, it's what we got. It's what we got. I brought the deck I brought. I played how I played. Round 6 was against a blind second power spell card banish pile. So he's playing 60 cards. He's playing Golden Castle of Stromberg. He's playing Gizmek. He's playing Eater of Millions. I make a board. He breaks it, and I basically can't recover from there. My deck is kind of a glass cannon. If my board gets fully broken, I have a hard time really getting back into it. Game 2, we side. I get to go first. I thought about letting him start, but I wanted to do what my deck is good at. And I sided an anti-spell, and I hit the anti-spell. So I was hoping that I would be able to use the anti-spell and stun out his power spells. But he cleared my field with a double Eater of Millions. Grand Maju, but he ran... Yeah, he was on Grand Maju. He had, you know, Raigekis. He had Interrupted Kaiju Slumbers. Inferno Tempest. Yeah, it could have been, honestly. But yeah, the anti-spell wasn't good enough. He sets up 2 Eater of Millions, clears my board. Kaiju's one of my guys. I top deck into a second talent and just have to set them both. He was not fun to play with. I lost. That's not the problem. I'm okay with losing. But it just wasn't fun. Like, I was like, hey, what's Golden Castle Stromberg do? He just waits a sec, like, looks at me, he goes, you should probably read the card. Which is like, I guess that's fair enough, but I've never played with anybody at locals or even at this regional who was like that. Like, if you ask what somebody's card does, just explain it. It saves time. It's good for the game. But whatever. I got 0-2'd. He was the only that guy. He was the only guy that wasn't, like, fun to play with. That guy's usually... Hey, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't seen him before, but I would like to not play with him again. Like, he wasn't like cussing me out, you know, he wasn't super mean, but it just wasn't fun to play with him. Because then after he beat me, he was telling me like how cool his deck is. He was telling me how like he's like every card in here is blinged out, and then you know, it just wasn't cool. Later on, he was like, nobody has any originality, and all I could think was like, I don't know how original it is to play just like a bunch of copies of Raigeki. I'm sure there are other people who've thought of that same idea, but whatever, whatever, you know? So, still good. Round 7, my opponent doesn't show up. 3 minutes pass, I get game 1. 10 minutes total pass, I just get the match. That was really disappointing. I would rather play. Even if I lose there, I'd rather play. So that's disappointing, because that's also kind of it. My record's not even good, but it makes it even less valuable, right? Those 3 wins, it's really only 2 wins, and kind of, I don't know. It made me feel bad. I would rather play and lose, because at least then it's some proper testing. I get to play a game. I just had to sit there for 45 minutes. I got to chat because there were some really cool people there. There were 2 other people playing Punk today. One of them was playing, or they were both playing Punk Gold Pride, and so one of the guys was really cool. I got to chat with him for most of the day. We would just like meet up every duel and go like, how'd you go? How'd your punks do? That was really fun. And the last round, I actually played against Contentedly Forlorn here. He's like one of the best players at my locals. He's super nice. He's always really gracious. You know, if he wins, he's never that guy about it. He's on Voiceless Voice, and I am main decking 3 Droll because of him and because of Voiceless. I know how that deck works. It's really straightforward. It's really cool. I don't think Voiceless is toxic. I actually really like it. I'm not very good into it, but I think it's cool. We went 0-2 on it. Game 1, he goes first. He sets up, you know, he's got the can't target me. He's got the Omni. He's got the trap, I think. He had everything. He had all the Voiceless stuff you could want. And my hand just couldn't play through it. It was a couple turns, but I wasn't in it. So I attacked, scooped it up. Game 2, I go first, and I bricked. I bricked for the first time all day. So all in all, round 8. So what is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 out of 16 duels. I played 16 games of Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. I bricked once. I had some unfortunate hands, but that was the only time I truly bricked. Because I opened, what was it? I opened Ash, Talent, Water Lily. I'm pretty sure this was the hand. Actually, no, it was this. This was it. This was the hand. It was draw 5. It was this. We opened the stinkers. So I lead with the Water Lily, hoping that he'll hand trap it, but Will has played it with me a lot. And so he knows what my deck does. And so I can't bait. He knows that sending one from deck, and he doesn't even run hand traps, so it didn't matter, but I send from deck, or he doesn't run many rather. I send the Ogdoadic from deck, he doesn't interact with it, and so I set Nash and I pass. He's got it all. I Ash, he normal summons the Diviner, I Ash it. It's obviously not enough. He pops off and kills me. At one point I just flipped up my set cards, my talent, and my pollutant, because he was being a good player. He was waiting for responses, but I was like, I really got nothing. So I just flipped him up, let him pop off. He clears my guy, makes enough damage, kills me. It was a good time. It was a good duel. It was a fun last match to have with somebody that I'm happy to play against and that is fun to talk to. So all in all, the regional was really fun. I really want to go to another. I'd be down to go to a bigger one as well. I also, just touching on the deck, I liked my deck. I think with the record we had, there's obviously things we could have done differently. There were ways we could have played more optimally. I will say, I felt really good into Snake Eye Fire King. I felt like the list we cooked up here worked. It was effective against them. It was strong. You know, the number of hand traps we had, 2 hand traps. That's how you beat Snake Eye, in my opinion. You know what I mean? 3 is even better. And so on that front, I feel like it was a successful deck list. But I only played against the 2 Snake Eyes players. And so it basically went where I'd either go first and I'd set up, or I'd go second. And then if I'm going second, so it's already a coin flip, right? First or second. And then if I'm going second, do I have hand traps? Because against Cash, I just open nothing. I open no hand traps versus my Cash opponent. And so that was just really brutal. That was a bummer. Kind of feeling that flow of it's a 50-50 here. Oh, cool. I lost a 50-50. I probably lose the duel. I don't want to abstract it too much because I don't want to sound like a sore loser. I had a lot of fun. I placed where I should have placed, but still, it's hard not to think about the what ifs. So overall, did Punk Ogdoadic take a top 16 at the regional? Not this time, but I'm going to keep brewing. I'm going to keep making decks, and hopefully people keep coming out to see them. We'll do a deck profile on this list probably, because I think this list is really solid. This will probably be one of the videos for the month, if not the only video. We'll also probably go back to playing some Leos. I love playing the Leos engine, so we will try again. We'll keep playing. Ogdoadic is still my favorite, and I had a lot of fun. I'm happy I brought this. There's no other deck I would have wanted to play today. It was cool because I would play stuff like Snake Rain, and people would go, hey, Snake Rain! And then I'd play it for a while, and I'd play Slicer, and they'd go, hey, aliens! So that was fun. I think people like to see different decks, and so it's fun. I get to feel kind of special playing a deck that isn't all that great. A combination nobody's ever tried for sure. Ogdoadic Punk. Well, not nobody, but in this form, this is something that feels like my own. And so I was happy to play the deck. I will reset this. So just so everybody can see it, this was the list we ended up piloting today. There are a few things I would change about it. I think I would like to have had the unicorns in the main, but had I done that, I would have diluted the deck even more, and so I would have had to do some thinking on if I want to run all the way up to like 49 or 50, or if I would have sacrificed the Veilers and something else. Honestly, we probably do something like this. We probably go Wagon cut, Field Spell cut, Veiler cut, and then we go in to more cash names. This is probably another version of the deck you could play. This would be the one that I haven't tested, but this build here, if we look at this, it still runs a lot of hand traps. Even without the two Veilers, it's not like we're bereft of hand traps. We still have tons of interaction on our opponent's turn. That was also really fun. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really fun to play because I really liked watching my opponents play, looking at my hand and thinking, okay, when do I want to hit him? So overall, the regional was really fun. And I appreciate everybody hanging out in the streams for testing. That was huge. I did not misplay very much. I tried to activate a talent while I had an anti-spell up, and I did my zone placement wrong in the duel versus the Snake Eye player that I won with the Apo. But otherwise, all that testing we've been doing, it paid off. I felt like I piloted the deck strongly. I feel like our deck building was tight. Our theory was good. It was just about drawing. It was about matchups, and it was about strength. You know, at the end of the day, as good as an Ogdoadic list can be, and as much stuff as I try to jam onto an Ogdoadic deck, it's still going to be weaker than something like Snake Eye. Yeah, so this was the deck, or well, this is this is a deck, and yeah, I had a lot of fun. Thank you for all the testing. Thank you for watching. We'll probably wrap it up here. I'm pretty tired. I will try to do some streaming tomorrow. Sorry the streaming's been light. I've been playing at locals. Friday night at locals, Thursday night at locals, and then Saturday I was at the regional all day. Normally I kind of can go forever. I'd have the energy to do a stream for a couple people if you guys wanted to hang out, but I'm exhausted. I should probably just go chill for a bit. So thank you so much for coming to watch this stream. Thank you for coming out short notice, and I appreciate it. As always, I will see you next time. Have a good night.